Well, we're on a easy run today. Got some hill sprints at the end, but I wanted to talk to y'all in this episode about the workouts that I do in the gym outside of running, but with the goal mostly to support my running goals. And I say mostly because I am doing upper body twice a week. I have a goal to bench 225, currently at 200. And so that has nothing to do with my running goals. Matter of fact, it may be a negative, right? If I gain muscle mass up top, that's more weight that I gotta move for 26.2 miles, which means more energy expenditure. But like I said, this is a goal. I don't think I'm ever gonna be super huge. It's just not my build, not my genetics, but it's a goal I've had. It's a goal I'm working towards. So outside of those 2 days where I'm doing upper body, everything else I do is focused on helping and improving my running. And so currently I'm doing core twice a week on Monday and Friday. And core is essential to running. It's going to help with stability, torso stability, keeping your torso upright. And so, if you're running for 26.2 miles for 2.5, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is for running a marathon, you get tired of standing up straight, right? You want to lean over, your shoulders went around, and that's signs of a weak core. And so your form's going to break down, which is ultimately going to make you inefficient. It's going to slow you down as your form breaks down, and that could lead to injury. So core is crucial. It's vital. It's very important for distance runners. So core twice a week, plus the lifting is going to work the core. Currently stretching 3 days a week. So it's usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. Again, that's important for recovery. All right, stretch the muscles out. Make sure they're not staying tight, which could lead to injury. So doing that 3 days a week. Thursdays, I'm doing band work. So it's lighter resistance, a little bit higher rep, around 12 to 15. And that's a day that I really like. I call it my mechanics day. So I'm doing bandit side steps, bandit hip abduction, bandit hip flexion, single leg kickbacks, so glute kickbacks, single leg bridges. I do one leg weighted balances. What else? Tibialis raises, single leg calf raises. So quite a few different exercises. And the point of that day is to work all those muscles that are used when running. So all three of your glutes, your hip flexors, your pretty much everything is standing on one leg. So that's going to work your pelvic floor, pelvic stability, your core. So all that's good for stability. The single leg balance I really like because that's going to work your ankles and your feet. which I think are things that are usually ignored or not really thought about when running. Also, some of the stretches I do target my feet, stretch out my feet. So that's a day that I really like. I think it's, again, something that people ignore. And then right now I'm doing leg day on Saturdays, which is the same day as my long run. And I do the weights in the morning, long run in the afternoon. Reason for that is right now I want to train for strength, durability, and running on tired legs, because at the end of a marathon you're going to be tired. Your legs are going to be tired. So you want to be able to still push even though your legs are tired. So like this past week I did legs in the morning, the afternoon I ran 16 miles. So that's the goal with that right now. I do a couple of sets, heavyweight, low reps. So like deadlift, squats, I do heavyweight, low reps. So that's for strength, targeting, of course, all the big muscles, glutes, quads, hamstrings. Then I do a couple of single leg exercises, and these are important. They're more running specific because running is done on one leg, right? You don't have both feet on the ground when running, so if all of your exercises have both feet on the ground, you're not going to be working those running specific muscles. You're not going to be targeting those as much. And so I do things like knee over toe lunges. This also stretches out the hip flexors, and so it works them. RDL, single leg RDLs. I'll do Bulgarian split squats, step ups, reverse lunges. So a bunch of different things you can do, but those are great for runners. Again, those single leg exercises are going to be more running specific, so you want to do those. And yeah, that's what my week of workouts looks like outside of running. And so just want to talk about, you know, should everybody be doing all that in addition to their running? So right now I'm running 7 days a week. Most of those days are easy days. Last 3 weeks I've done about 50 miles. I want to increase that from here, but right now I have the time to do all that. And so when you're thinking about what should you be doing, what should you be prioritizing, number one is running. So if you can, I think volume is probably the best thing a runner can do to improve up until a point, right? So at some point it is too much. You have to figure out what that is for you. But for me, I've definitely seen where the volume helped me get faster, right? And so I think with that, it's not just going out and running, you know, 60, 70, 80 miles a week, all easy. You have to be somewhat structured. I think at least one speed day or one good workout and then a longer run are crucial. Sometimes that long run needs to be a workout. Sometimes it can be easy if you had a harder workout in the week. And then the rest of the day is easy. You know, a lot of people say 80-20, 80% easy, 20% hard. Just depends on how many miles you're doing. But that's a standard recommendation. Some people can do 70-30, some people may need to do 90-10. But most of the running is going to be easy. It's the point of that. But if you can increase your mileage as much as you can before really doing any of this other stuff, right? If you're running 20 miles a week, but then you're doing leg day 3 days a week, and you're doing core every day, and you're, you know, doing these band work that I'm talking about, you know, that's gonna help, but I would say cut back on some of that work you're doing in the gym and get your mileage up. Because again, at the end of the day, you're running the marathon, you're not squatting or lunging the whole way, right? And so running is the most running specific exercise that you can do. So volume, right? Get your running to a pretty good volume. And then I would say definitely, if you can, you need to be doing 1 to 2 strength days for lower body. Again, you do want to do those standard exercises like squats, deadlifts, but then definitely want to throw in some single leg, you know, single leg RDLs, Bulgarian split squats. Those are great. Step ups. And then if you have time, I would do, you know, some core work, you know, target some of those things I was talking about, like your hip flexors, your feet, your ankles, you know, a lot of balance, stability stuff. That's going to be very beneficial for you. Oh, calf raises, I do those as well, tibialis raises. Again, calves are the most used muscle when running, and so definitely want to work those, strengthen those. Running first, lower body strength work, then add on the core and all the other little detail things last. With that said, none of that should come at the cost of recovery. So if you're getting 7 hours of sleep and you're running 40 miles a week, you're getting up at 5 a.m. and you're like, well, I want to get my volume up, I'm gonna go down to 6 hours of sleep every day and I'm gonna get 55 miles in a week. I would say stay at 40 and still get to 7 hours of sleep. Recovery is your friend, and sleep is the best recovery that you can do. So, you know, don't sacrifice recovery and sleep to do more. You know, you can do that some, I think that's okay, but long term you don't want to do that, not just for training but for your overall health. It's not good. Sleep is your friend. So that's what I got for y'all this week. Just wanted to kind of go over what I do outside of running to support my running goals. Like I said, right now I'm training for a sub 250 marathon. And as I progress, I'll update y'all, but I will be moving things around in the week. So I'll be taking leg day off of my long run day because I do want to get to where I'm doing 20 plus miles for several weeks, and I want those to be a really good workout. Very specific, where I'm going to be hitting goal marathon pace within that workout. And so I want to be fresh for those days to be able to show up for those workouts. And so I'll move leg day earlier in the week. That way I have plenty of time to recover before my long run. I plan to add in some plyometrics. It's nothing, or that's something that I've not done in the past when training for a marathon. So I think that can be beneficial, just to work those fast twitch muscles. And really work on my speed, right? Getting off the ground to hopefully have a shorter ground contact time. So yeah, I'll show y'all what that looks like as we get closer. We're 7-8 weeks out from the marathon. It's May 2nd. And so that's everything we got going on currently. I would much appreciate if you could like this, subscribe, leave a comment. Would really like to grow this channel. And so I would appreciate that. But that's all I got for this one. We'll see y'all next time.